Hey. You know what I'm saying? Ah. Oh, I'm living my best life.
Best life. Whoa.
Hey, man, give me that. Lion's heart.
Dragon blood. All day.
Hey. Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Bird Gang.
Thunder and Lightning Show.
All day, every day.
Brah, brah.
Brah. Hey, we're just trying to give back to the community. We're just decided to do more.
Be more.
With our sponsors, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Clarity, Nerd
Always.
Be more, do more.
Always.
And we got Flow Music.
Find your flow.
Find your flow. We'll explain more to those, but basically, those companies are a part of us and we're a part of them because we care about trying to show you guys more than just how to work out, how to lift, how to talk, how to do this.
How to be healthy and things.
We're trying to bring you guys a lifestyle and what we believe in and a way of being.
And a way of being that we think is just, a good way to be. I'm pretty happy.
I am so happy. I'm living my best life.
Best life always.
I can be down, I can be depressed, I can be whatever, but like the people that we're around, the people that we associate with, bring me up. I care about them, I care about you. We have a community that takes care of each other.
That's why we call it the Elite Fam.
That's why we call it Elite Fam.
The Bird Gang.
And it starts with our athletes and it starts with the people that raise our athletes.
Absolutely.
We've been lucky to have a lot of great families to come through here and that aspire to be great athletes.
And it's just been cool to work with the whole spectrum of them, you know what I mean? From mom, dad, grandma, all the way down to, the 6-year-old, the high school athlete looking to go college, whatever, the whole thing.
You come to Elite Fitness because you want to be really good, and you don't come in just to halfway do it or think about being an athlete. You come in because you want to take that next step. And, we were able to definitely have Brayden Gruenewald of the Gruenewald Clan intern for us this summer, and she held it down like a Gruenewald would.
I'm going to miss her.
Extremely.
Incredibly. She was amazing.
She just is definitely
worked.
She's definitely one of the best interns we've had. She's definitely somebody that understands our family and understands what we're trying to do and what we're giving back.
To our athletes because, I can relate to that, right? Yeah. It's like she did the same. She came back to what we gave to her in a sense because she wanted to help create that.
And she wants to be a teacher. She wants to be a teacher going into when she graduates. And this is a great opportunity for her to work with younger kids and see what it is like to be in charge of classes. And she came in and took right to it. As most of my athletes do, they take right to it, and I love it. She worked so hard and did such a great job that I learned just from the way watching her work how much her parents had instilled a work ethic into her. Right. So with that, we had to interview
the whole Gruenewald Clan.
The matriarch of the Gruenewald Clan.
Yep.
Trevor and Rhonda raised a dynamic family, a great family.
Hard workers.
They had a plan.
All of them.
And we actually did an episode where we had dinner with them, sat down, discussed how Rhonda and Trevor decided to raise such a great family and had a plan. So if you're out there and you want to know how to create, how to raise, how to instill your morals and your values into a family, Rhonda and Trevor Gruenewald
the episode for you.
Have the answer.
They do. He should write a book. We mentioned that.
Trevor Gruenewald should write a book.
We believe that.
It should be called A Great Man Leadeth Us. And by Trevor Gruenewald.
By Trevor Gruenewald.
And the Purdue baseball.
Yep.
But anyways, guys, this is a very special interview with the family, my favorite family.
Yep.
I'm gonna raise my kids in Southlake because of this family, but this is a notch above Southlake's finest, the Gruenewald Clan. Hope you enjoy. Love, peace, and happiness.
Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father. Well, I could do our normal one.
Great start.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity of life. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. And thank you for bringing over the elite team here today to spend time with us. Thank you for the opportunity to break bread. Help us and help all those in need. And please bless our families and please bless our country. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Holy Spirit, amen.
Well, thank you guys for having us. Thank you for letting us have Brayden over the summer, for sure.
Thank you for
She's
having
been
her.
a
She's
Been
great,
the best intern.
best intern we've had. Seriously.
Aw.
How many have you had?
Good.
I've had a few.
one.
I've had a lot.
We've
I've
had
had a lot. I've had a lot.
Enough for that to mean something.
Yeah,
Aw, that's so
definitely.
nice.
Yeah,
She-
'cause no one would take her.
No, she came in and she was. I really didn't have to teach her too much. We just kind of like go train them, go, and it was good. And then I mean, she.
Because you've taught her for 4 years.
Yeah, but she. I mean, but she taught. But a lot of people don't. A lot of kids aren't used to the work. Like it doesn't seem as much work, but it's work. Right? Like.
It's work. I mopped floors all morning.
Oh my God.
All morning, one morning.
Yeah, a little dramatic.
One
All
morning.
morning. This morning.
Yeah, but you like to work.
She works. There's a couple points where like the moment I knew she was good was she was like, we walk out, we usually send all the kids out at 5 p.m. on the dot, and I'll come out and yell at something, and she had already sent them out, and I was like, oh, you already sent them out? She was like, get them in, get them out, right?
All right.
You're right, coach. You're right.
Turnover.
You're right, coach.
You're right. I'm sorry.
That's right.
But
I used to have them work at our company. You know, they come in and work in marketing.
yeah.
And I would suggest marketing probably doesn't work as hard as they probably could. And so they would literally work circles around them. We're like, okay, I'm done, you know, with what we're supposed to go do.
Yeah.
What
Where's
else?
more work?
Yeah. No, she was good. She was
Ready to go.
amazing.
I mean, same way she works out too, though. I mean, truthfully.
Well, that was a nice part too. Is usually,
Get out. That's my mom. I taught her that one.
What's that? Take it out?
Get in, get out.
Yeah.
Fake it.
Right. But I mean, the kids loved her, and it was fun to work with a mirror with her.
I like watching that.
Oh, yeah, the young girl
The kid
with
was
cerebral palsy.
probably, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that was neat.
She's great. She's great. So
That was neat.
you are welcome back any summer, anytime,
Appreciate it.
and whenever you graduate. Like I said to Brayden, boy Brayden, girl Brayden, you got a job with me
Love it.
anytime,
Thank
for
you.
sure.
So you'll get a random call one day. Hey, I thought you were working.
Yeah.
Whenever you graduate, better be 4 years.
Yeah. There you go.
2 years.
No, but I mean, we definitely wanted to come just because the Gruenewald lore at the gym is. I mean, every time they all walk in, they're like, "Who is that?"
Ooh, that's
like
like squad walking
they're
in.
all a family and they're all D1. And they're like, "Oh my
they're all
gosh,
good.
like good genes." So I was like, "Well, I wanted to go.
Just excuse yourself.
I wanted to go
Hey,
straight."
I helped create 4.
You did.
That's
You
pretty
did.
cool.
You did.
Yes, I did.
But and the fact that she's a great kid. We always have great kids at the gym, and we come from a great community with great kids, great families, and you guys got 4 of them. What I really wanted to do and talk about is just how you guys, you have to have a plan going in, somewhat of a plan going in, raising kids. I just kind of want to get your kind of what your guys' plan was, what your guys' background is, how are you able to raise such great kids, and
Thank you. That's very nice, first and foremost.
Yeah, thank you. You want to go?
No.
Uh-oh.
I would
I'll
say-
take this one.
Yeah, I'll take
I'll
it.
just say, I think first and foremost, and so we dated 8 years before we got married. And during that time, we had a lot of time to talk about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we both had was we had someone at home with us. So one of our parents, that ended up being our moms in both instances. So we had always said, regardless, of who it is, me or her, someone will be home with our kids so that the other one can, whoever's, career is going the best, someone will be home. so we can make sure that they learn our values, so that they make sure that we're teaching them in our faith, and so make sure that we know, what they're doing at all times. And so we decided
You lost.
I lost. Well, you quit. Let's be clear.
My career was actually going better.
It was going
and
well.
I still quit.
And she tanked it.
I tanked it. I said,
So I got stuck with the working
That's
part.
right.
I think it started there, but then it was just. I mean, we're driven people. So,
It definitely had to be.
It shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're very goal-oriented people. We like to set. So, I mean, these guys all know, and no one's
Forced.
probably happy about it, but we
Forced goals.
made them set goals. We made them set, specifically the tactics for each one of those goals. They had to measure them, day by day, week by week, and then we had someone accountable to talk to them about it on a monthly basis.
Really?
So, yeah, and literally it's an Excel spreadsheet, and I've shared it with tons of people. Like yours.
I'm not
They do.
surprised.
None.
I am not surprised at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because there's always a way to get better, and
Yeah.
it's one of those. And we know sports, and that's the thing. That's what we know.
we know.
So we tried. We really wanted them to play guitar, to play
Piano,
do all that kind of stuff, and they would practice. For a while, and all we could say is practice more, practice. But we didn't know if they were doing well or not. It either sounded good, it didn't. We're like, I don't know. And they just say, no, I practiced, but we didn't know. We knew sports very well, so we love to compete. Right, so everything's a competition. I mean, everything's
This
a competition,
is a very competitive.
and always
game.
has been. I remember we would compete driving home from church, just like because I would usually go early to get our seat, and you don't want kids sitting there too long.
Yeah.
And so she would come later with the younger ones, and then on the way home, every once in a while, I'd have to call on the phone and say, "You got to let us win. Mitch is going to start crying." Or if we don't
More
win,
wonder boy.
because it mattered. It mattered. So everything
Everything was a competition.
was a competition, and we just played sports and everything that we did. So from the very early age on, they did it.
And they played everything. Our kids played every single sport, from gymnastics when they were really little to soccer. Everybody played soccer when they were little. Obviously, Peyton stuck with that one.
Baseball, softball, basketball, football.
Yeah. I mean, they played everything, and we wanted them to play everything.
Yeah, we kind of. Yeah, I would forced them. I wouldn't say forced them, but
Say it.
we encouraged.
We encouraged them
Rip
to
the
play
Band-Aid.
everything.
We highly encourage you to do everything because
Yeah.
my goal was when they get older, I want them to be able to. Let's say they're in college, or say they're coaching their kids, whatever they're doing. I want them to be able to do everything,
Yeah.
and I want them to be able to do it with the level of proficiency that at least isn't embarrassing themselves.
Hey, that's right.
And
Or me.
you guys did.
First
More
and
importantly,
foremost, me.
Yeah.
So Trevor, what? Tell us your athletic background. Sports playing. I mean, you played at Purdue. Just tell us the history. I mean, it all started from this man
We'll just
here.
go around. Skip you, Mom.
Well,
Exactly.
so, I mean, I grew up in the same way, and again, it's kind of a different world today, I'd say a little bit than it was then, that all you did was play sports, and your parents allowed you to go out, and you just went and played all day.
Yep.
You would either play, I mean, I was a huge Chicago fan, that's where I grew up, and I could name every Bulls player, every Bears player, every Cubs player, and so on, and we would sit there and just play simulation games of everything. And I would act like Butkus would act, or I'd act like Peyton would act, or I'd act like Bill Buckner would act, or any of that. So I knew how each of them, their stance was. I knew how they swung. I knew how they hit. I knew how they tackled. I knew all that. And so we would just kind of emulate, the Chicago sports teams. And so we did that nonstop. And my dad was one of those guys that would coach our teams, and we started very early on, learning how to play.
Yeah.
And so we were throwing balls from early on. We were hitting from early on. He used to throw the boxing gloves on us all the time to go, okay, you guys go at it. If there's a problem, you guys go at it, so you learn how to fight. So,
Are you
I mean-
surprised? I don't know.
We don't do
but
that.
then when I had braces, they're like, you can't hit Trevor in the face. That kind of stuff,
Don't
But
mess with the face.
But that's what we did. And my dad was a driver, and he was a disciplinarian, and you knew what the rules were, and you followed the rules, or you paid the consequences for not doing it. But that then drove into sports. And I would say I was athletic, but I wasn't the best athlete. Right. So I worked harder than everybody else, right? I knew I could outwork anybody, and that's what I did. And so even when, weightlifting is a much more of a discipline now, weightlifting wasn't as huge of discipline back then. I started working out with buddies probably about 6th or 7th grade. And we had a gym membership. Our parents would drop us off, and we'd hold each other accountable to go do it. And so that became a part of it. Being stronger than everybody else was kind of another key attribute that allowed you to be good at things. And I played pretty much everything growing up. But I ended up focusing on my strengths were baseball and football. So I ended up focusing on those couple of sports. That's what I ended up playing in high school. I also wrestled in high school, but that was only a means to an end, just to stay in shape.
Off season,
because sports weren't like they are here in Texas, where you play them year round. You played them during your season, and then you kind of moved on to the next. So it was just a way to stay in shape, and so I was committed to both of those. I worked hard at both of those, and had good success, in high school. And recruiting was a whole different world back then as well, where now it's so much more opened up. You really relied on your high school coach at the time to write letters, to get some interest and that kind of stuff. And so I was lucky to have some really good coaches that they liked my work ethic. I mean, part of it was, you've probably seen these guys, I mean, they sweat more than anybody. And so I sweated tons. The coach always thinks you've been working harder than
So that's how you get away with it.
Yeah, so just like, oh my God, look at Gruenewald over there. That guy lost his tail off. So, I was a coachable kid. I worked really, really hard. And I sweat a lot, so I looked like I was working hard. And and my whole family competed in everything that we did too. I would say I was probably too intense of a person.
Probably.
Keyword being probably.
I mean, it's one of those things that I will always say about an athlete. You have to hate to lose. And I could not stand to lose. And to the point where I've broken my hand on walls after losing sports.
That's this guy right here.
Yeah.
Thrown bats through walls, that kind of stuff. So
Breaking things. That's me.
I hate to lose.
Yeah.
And my brother and I had a pretty intense rivalry, which kind of drove that. And he was 2 years older, but my goal was to always beat him and to always be able to beat him in a fight and all that kind of stuff. And so. Yeah, that's how I grew up, just doing that. And then once you got to high school, I had scholarships to play both football and to play baseball. And I was also, school was extremely important to us. And it was made important to us because there were punishments if you didn't deliver a certain level of achievement in school. And so I knew that was probably the most important to me as I was coming out. I knew I didn't have the size. I had the speed, but I didn't have the size to be able to play at the college level. But I knew I wasn't good enough to go beyond that. I went to what I thought first was the school that I wanted. I chose Purdue University.
Boiler up.
Well, it's not like that was my dream come true all growing up. It ended up being that way.
Yeah.
And now I understand how awesome the school is. So I ended up going there to play baseball. And I even thought at times, should I go as a walk-on for football too, and so on. But realized, with school, with baseball, and with trying to have a girlfriend, trying to be in a fraternity, that kind of stuff, there wasn't enough of that.
Yeah.
But I always considered myself as not as good as everybody else. So I would.
Sounds familiar to somebody I know.
Oh man.
Oh, who gets that?
It all adds up.
So what you do is you work harder. So when I was up early every day in college, I never drank. I didn't do drugs. I wasn't sexually promiscuous. Any of that in high school. I was just pretty clean nose. I would say relatively good kid. You know, we did our stuff, but those were the important things for my parents.
Yeah.
Those things, and so you knew what. And I saw my brother screw up ahead of me. I just like I
took those
won't do
notes.
that.
All right, I know what not to do.
Yeah.
I know what not to do. I know what really pisses them off, and so I didn't.
Yeah.
I just
I'm gonna
didn't do
avoid
that
those
stuff.
things.
Yeah. Soon you get to college and you're not in that mode to do
You're
that,
already
and you're so
conditioned, yeah.
serious about sports and school that that's what I did. Right.
Yeah.
And so I would, and I knew I wasn't as good as everybody else, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go take extra hitting practice. I'll do extra stuff at the weight room. I'll go do extra running, that kind of stuff, just so I can keep up with everybody else. Because when you're in college, I mean, literally, everybody is the best of whatever they. They're the best in Puerto Rico, the best in California, the best in that.
Yeah.
And so, I guess
Outworked
outworked
them.
them. Yeah, where you can't outskill them. You
Yeah, work them.
you
Love
can
it.
outwork them.
Hey.
That's one thing you
Yeah.
can control, that's for sure.
If you wanted the short answer.
No, that was the
That was the Trevor Gruenewald answer. That's exactly
Wow,
what it
it's
was.
bedtime. Yes.
that's what I wanted.
And these guys have heard it.
Yeah.
So
I believe it.
It makes sense. It's exactly right. I mean, because I yell at Brayden all the time. That's like I call her Eeyore because I'm like, oh, I'm not as good as everybody. But the funny thing about her is if somebody else does stuff, if I say something to somebody else like, hey, they're better than you, or they did this, she's like, well, that's because they had to do blah, 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 which is a new thing. But
It's not that new.
No, she works. And I know that I can tell all of them work, but I know they get it from somewhere. And the more I pick at her this year, I was like, the funny thing, the more this year that I talked to her, I was like, the more I could tell who you were. I started asking you guys. I started asking you more questions. Like, your dad's pretty intense, isn't he? She's like, yeah. I was like, you guys compete in everything, don't you? She's like, yeah. So like every answer, like exactly nailed it. What I thought, just because the way she is and the way you raise your kids, which is a testament.
And they
which is
should
a
have
testament
higher.
to you.
I mean, they should all have higher self-esteem because they're all very good at what they do.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Anyways, like no matter what, she knows she's good. She knows all you
they
guys
all
are
know they're
D1
capable.
athletes.
Yeah.
They
You know
all
what
know
I
they're
mean?
good, just not
But
satisfied.
still, you need
in a
that.
sense.
You need that voice in the back of your head of like, you can do more. You can do more. I'm not as good as them. Like, that drives it. That's a driving force. It's something that, as an athlete, you have to have.
Almost
right?
a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, you have.
That's
That's
what I always
you have
said.
to have
I'm
it.
always happy, but I'm never satisfied.
Yeah.
Never.
Yep.
Every
I
day
get that.
there's an opportunity to be better.
I love it. You guys hear that all the time.
Yeah, I was about to
You
say.
guys gotta coach at home. But the major thing about you guys and your family, and that I think surprises a lot of people, that is awesome, is every single kid is a D1 athlete, which isn't easy. I don't know. No, I mean it's a thing. Like it's a big thing. It is something you guys should be definitely proud of, because I don't know how many families can
I've never
say
seen
that.
Yeah.
Have 4 kids and them all be D1 athletes, and when they walk in a room, they say, "Who
are they?"
Who are they? That's why we call it the Gruenewald Clan, because I mean,
That's
if
what
you
it
could
is.
bottle whatever it is up and put it up, we could sell that.
And it's a commitment. I mean, we decided early on because you have to give up vacations. You have to give up your weekends. You have to give up, downtime, all that kind of stuff. So we early on said, you know what, we're going to sacrifice. I mean, because these kids, this is what they love to do. This is what we love to do. So we made a decision early on. I just said, as long as they will commit, as long as they do the work, we'll invest the time and the money and all of that to help them be successful.
I mean, the cool thing now is though that you guys are older. Now you can take those vacations and you can kind of do those things.
Kind of. I mean, they all played in college.
Some of y'all
So
over.
when you have 4 kids and 4 different sports and all different seasons,
It's
they're
hard.
really, it's really hard.
to
Yeah,
take a
not much.
vacation.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It will. I mean, once he goes off to school, then it opens up a little bit more time. But right now, we value our time to go watch them all.
okay.
Yeah.
And I don't like to miss a game.
Yeah.
Like,
So we were
I-
watching them on TV.
I
We're
don't-
watching them
I don't
there
like to
when we
miss a
can.
game.
So we've always kind of had that thought process that said we will be at one of their games.
Yeah,
One of us. You can't
will
with
be
4
there.
people. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
But we're
it's
just
always-
like one of us will be at one of their games if we
Always.
possibly can. And so we divide and conquer and we go. And
Yeah.
early on, I mean, I pretty much coached all their sports
I
up
believe that.
until probably about
Middle
junior
school.
high
Yeah.
to, depending on the sport, to
Yeah.
to high school, you know, when it comes to things like baseball and stuff like that
Mhm.
that I
Yeah.
know. So
Lacrosse.
that wasn't a strength of mine.
I do it all.
You threw it once.
I tried to throw it once. It was not successful. But these got to be so easy. And I'm like, go long. Boom. And we
Right to the ground.
I drilled a hole.
Because the first time I ever saw anybody play lacrosse or know anybody play lacrosse was at the Air Force. Like I had a couple guys that played
No
football with me,
kidding.
and they had lacrosse sticks, and I was like, "What is that? You guys actually do that?" They're like, "Yeah." So it was a big East Coast thing. That's
Yeah,
what I
very
learned.
East
Yeah.
Coast.
Yes.
That's what I learned. A guy from Virginia played, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then the year after I graduated, they got lacrosse at Colleyville, and I was like, "Man, I would have been.
I'd have
good
done
at
that.
Yeah.
I think I would have been.
I can
good
run
at
around with a
that."
stick.
Yeah, and pesky people and poking with the stick.
Yes.
That's right
Yeah.
up my alley. I guess what next is the kids and
Yeah.
you know Taylor.
Yeah.
What do you want to
You
know?
played it. No, but played at Cal Poly. Let's go. Taylor played at Cal Poly, Mississippi State soccer, volleyball, sand, and court. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
I mean, that's
So
a-
versatile.
That's
Yeah.
and then Brayden, sand, volleyball, and boy wonder over here going to play lacrosse.
Nothing.
I know. I know sibling rivalry, and kind of I know how I was. I wanted to do whatever my brother could do. I could do it better. That's just how I thought. Like you did it. Okay, I'm gonna do it better than you did it. Like you showed me the blueprint. I can do that.
Now we'll make it better.
Yeah. So you guys all got to watch Taylor. Taylor kind of
Bring it.
that about your career and what you did and how you got to where you're at and got to play that. I mean, I just like to know. You're the one that is farther away from us that we didn't get to know. We just saw you a little bit in the gym and complain. And
Sounds about right.
we got to see the lost
Yeah.
of
Do
Who's
some jobs, flop
complaining?
around.
Me, Ted?
What?
You're the one complaining?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry, we didn't mean to tell
They're
him.
exactly.
There'll be a punishment.
Got him.
Grounded.
Well, let us know a little bit about your background and your history and kind of your story and sports and
Who are you?
dealing with Trevor as your dad.
It's Taylor. Well, yeah, I guess you can all see where it stems from, first and foremost. But growing up, I mean, yeah, we were in everything. Every sport, we played it all and did it all together, which is really cool. I know me and Peyton played soccer together for like
A while.
Many years.
yeah, many years, and always. And we're all so close in age.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it is like competition all the time, and I don't know. So it was always fun growing up, and soccer was actually kind of my favorite sport for a while. And my mom, I was so tall, so my mom forced me to try volleyball.
Well, you love gymnastics too.
Okay.
There are many 6'2".
That too.
You
I
were
like
very good at a
gymnastics,
couple of the
but I knew I had to give that one up.
Give you a
But-
solid base. Solid
Yeah,
start.
no. Yeah, I was flexible at one point, you know. But yeah, I tried volleyball. Absolutely hated it. Absolutely hated it. She put me in this camp where I was like not very good compared to everyone else, and came back with bruises. I was like, this is not for me. And then it actually threw me in a YMCA camp like the next week, and I was like the stud. I was like,
Okay, this is
heck
better.
yeah, like I can do
Thank
this.
you.
Yeah. And so that started my love for volleyball. And then so I played both soccer and volleyball up until I guess when we moved here freshman year. You can't play both really. It's hard.
Yeah.
In Southlake, especially my high school coach, he kind of wanted me to
They're very
choose.
Yeah.
And so I chose volleyball. I thought I had the most potential there, and I enjoyed it. So stuck with that. Played at a club in school, and actually I had a lot of injuries growing up, so that kind of was tough when it came to recruiting for me.
If you needed Elite Fitness, they could have fixed you on that.
Yeah.
And, you weren't
Yeah,
doing
that
it.
is my fault.
My bad, guys.
I apologize. And so actually my sophomore year, I had my rib removed and for shoulder issues. And so that put me out of like the recruiting game because that's sophomore years for volleyball. It's like the biggest time to get recruited. And so that was tough. I mean, I was on great teams on club and whatnot, but being on the sideline when everyone's getting recruited,
Yeah.
that's tough. So then, again, went to a new club next year and was able to find a school that fit everything I wanted. I wanted something with great academics, a school that I knew I was going to be able to contribute on the court immediately. And then just a great environment, and that Cal Poly fit all that.
There you go.
I had offers other places, but this seemed like the best spot for me. So started off there, and luckily I was able to come in and
Be a superstar.
Kill the game.
but compete right away.
Be a Gruenewald.
Be a Gruenewald. That's we're coining that term now, yeah. And so so really great. Started right away and was able to contribute with my teammates. We were first year of Cal Poly, a little rocky.
The youngest team in the NCAA.
Yeah,
Oh,
literally.
okay.
So that-
Literally.
There it is.
Yes, yeah. In my sophomore year, I was it was me, sophomore, and then 5 other freshmen on the court. It was like, we were very young.
Yeah.
Very young. So it was building the first 2 years.
I bet it made a good senior season.
Very good, yes, it did. And yeah, now that I'm gone, they're even better. But weird how that works.
You brought in some good recruits.
But yeah, so played all.
But did you had a new coach,
Yeah,
and
brand new
she
coach.
was the first recruit of the new coach who said, "I'm building my program around
Around
Tim."
you.
Oh, okay.
And
Yep.
so that's what they
That's really cool.
been able to do.
They did.
She was trying to be humble.
Slow
Thank
your roll.
you for telling the truth.
But yeah, so played all 4 years. Played sand then as well. My freshman year was the first year Cal Poly had sand. So that was also a learning experience. Our coach really just wanted it to get more time in the gym.
Yeah.
No 8-hour weeks, always in 20 hours. So very, very busy. But sand was really fun. It was new for me. I'd never played it in high school. So wasn't that great
Was
at
sand
it.
big back in high school? Whenever you were
No,
in high school?
not at all.
Sand's pretty new.
It's
Yeah.
growing so much
Yeah.
now. But so did both of those. And then luckily, my senior year, Brayden came along.
How fun was that?
I bet
So
that was really
fun.
dope.
So fun. And we obviously got to play together. And that was, something I'll cherish forever. Touching, I know.
Oh,
But, it was... she wasn't supposed to go to Cal Poly. And,
Right.
and then
And then it happened.
something
And then it happened.
great happened. And, she came here. And, that
So you've played your whole life. So how have you dealt with not being able to play anymore? Like, what's that transition been like?
It's different. I was like watching Cal Poly's first home match last night, and I was like crying. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I want to be there.
Yep.
I miss it a lot. I coach, so I coach indoor.
It's a good way to stay connected. at
Yeah,
least.
stay connected. And I play for fun, but there's nothing like really competing.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah,
college
for sure.
level, I miss that a lot. But
Still
You
get all the
can't do it
competition
forever.
right here, right?
right,
No,
exactly.
Family Olympics.
Yeah.
There we go.
We do have
That's
family
where you get
Olympics.
it.
We do
That's where
play
you-
three
That's where you
on
scratch
three
that
a
itch.
Second best. But
That's
yeah,
about
I
the
miss
same
it.
level of
and
intensity.
I
It's
don't
not
know. I'll
skill.
probably always stay some kind of involved in
Right,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, those 4 years were the best 4 years of my
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
and I would never change a thing about it.
That's good.
That's kind of what I try to do is is whenever you're an athlete, and I just think this is what you should do. Period. Is you're staying connected and staying with it. It's just you trained your whole life. You have all these experiences, all these lessons that you learned, and that was your life.
Yeah.
And you have so much to give back to the ones coming up. So that's what I really think is great. You're staying connected with it, and I think that's what you do is try to help people, help the youth or anybody younger than you. You give them the answer so their experience is faster, and you have the knowledge, and why not give it? Because then it's just bottled up, and you're like,
And then that's how you scratch that itch, even of at least that's what I found. When I stopped playing sports, is that's why I wanted to be a trainer. Is if I'm still connected to it, I can still feel fulfilled in a sense. You know what I
right,
mean?
absolutely.
It might not be the exact same thing, but at least I'm able to feel those feelings that I once did when I was playing the sport I loved.
I actually enjoy watching my kids' success more than ever my success.
Sure.
It's so much more. I always if one of my teammates scored, I was the first one down, tackle him and running over. That was just me. I just enjoy watching other people succeed. So that's why I'm in the position I am, because I really enjoy watching my athletes do it.
Sure.
That's
and
kind of
giving
what
them
Elite was
answers.
built upon.
Yeah,
Right.
You could say.
Well, truthfully, I had somebody tell me once, that's someone that knows me well, you just built everything that you wish you would have had. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
I wish
much.
I had a meeting.
Yeah, pretty much. But you need that. You need that at some point in your career. Everybody's had that. I need somebody to tell me this. I need somebody to give me that
A
answer.
mentor, in a sense.
Yeah, and
somebody
it's
that can
important,
help guide you through that
because,
journey.
you know, I was that kid that was always naturally talented, naturally gifted, and natural, which means I was raw. You know,
Yes.
I was just good at a bunch of other stuff, and I just was an athlete. But it would take one person to be like, pull me to the side and be like, hey, kid, let me show you the way.
Yeah.
And I never had that. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I try to give to every single kid, no matter what it is.
Good.
It's athletic or just an ear to listen or whatever. That's kind of what elite is. That's what I try to do. And they're like, yeah, that's kind of it is. That's I'm gonna give you the answers, and you know you can fall on me, and that's really the point of elite. So that's stay connected to that. Stay on that, because that it eventually that's a way better gift to watch your kids succeed and do their thing and know like you had a hand in it, and it's fun. It's fun to watch them blossom and grow. And when they thought they were doubting themselves or they weren't good enough, and you see them break through. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's way more fun.
It's way more
And it's
rewarding.
more rewarding, and
yeah.
you can always get that reward. Like
Yeah,
that's
right.
the game.
You don't have to depend on your body lasting
Yeah,
through the years.
yeah, yeah.
I can keep doing this one.
Yeah.
Okay, Peyton.
Next.
Peyton.
Was she the hard one of the family?
Always.
Does she have the most attitude?
That's why she's an amazing soccer player.
I
Because you
believe
gotta
it.
be tough
I believe
to
it.
take
I
what
believe
you
it.
take in soccer.
So Peyton played at Mississippi State. Mississippi State, right?
Yes.
University. Played soccer. You were the second oldest.
Yep.
How was that being the second oldest? That's a weird position.
Taylor?
Yeah, tell me.
Save me.
No, I enjoyed being second oldest. I copied everything Taylor did
That's a good-
growing
yeah,
up,
yeah,
so
yeah.
naturally I
Good.
played every sport she played. Always wanted to be around her for some reason. Don't know why.
Questioning it now.
Yeah, I still work with her now. So. Still can't get it.
Exactly.
But no, so yeah, like Taylor said, grew up playing every single sport you can think of. I was always a more aggressive person. I liked to hit people.
Yeah. There we go.
Naturally, soccer was the sport for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played with Taylor for a while. My dad coached us, and I guess at that point I kind of realized I was not afraid of getting hit or hitting people, and that's what kind of made me love the game a little bit more. And then finally we came here. My coaches were phenomenal. I loved my high school coach. He helped me get recruited, and my club coach. They were both just amazing. I went on a visit to Mississippi State, and like Taylor said, we all wanted somewhere where we could compete and contribute immediately. And my freshman class, actually, we had 21 freshmen. We were the youngest team in the
nice.
NCAA when I got there.
What do you know?
Yeah.
Weird.
You get a Greenewald and you just build around it.
Yeah.
Build around a green wall. That's what it is.
There's the
Hey,
theme.
hey, I know.
There's
I
the
know.
theme.
Well, I think one of the things that made you better too was she always played
Ooh,
She always
Intern
Intern.
problem.
played up a year, right?
Yeah.
So
We always played up.
So, and that was one of the things as a coach, I would say I'll coach, but they have to be on the same team. So she would always.
To make
play
it
up.
easier for them.
Yeah.
I
Us is
could-
going
yeah,
this
you
way.
can't coach so many teams, right? So,
Yep.
so literally she got to play up, and she grew later, so she was kind of tiny compared to. Well, then Taylor was always taller than everybody,
Yeah.
so she's kind of seemed little. But I just remember the one tournament in Gettysburg where they just kept. I mean, literally, they kept having all this pushing going on.
She's like, I've heard this one.
Peyton literally jumps up and drills her in the chest, in the game. I'm like, yes! I mean, we were like, we'll pay you guys to get yellow cards. Let's go.
I wish I was still a thing. If only. I'd have been rich at college.
Yeah, you've been very good.
Been well off. But yeah, no, I visited state, absolutely loved it, loved the environment, the whole sports tradition of it. I mean, it's the SEC.
Yeah.
I personally
go
think
wrong
you
there.
can't get better than that.
Except the
but
Big Ten.
others would disagree and argue that.
Uh-oh. Did we start something?
But I loved playing all 4 years. I had a few injuries, not, I guess, to the extent Taylor's had.
You never had a rib removed, huh?
I've not had a rib
Okay.
removed.
Well, that's a
You had
plus.
some-
I've had a few ordeals. But yeah, my strength in soccer was always my air game. I love to head the ball, and I've taken a few hits to the head because of that. I got my face cut
naturally.
open this last year. I've made it out with only 2 concussions, which is
That's good.
good.
Hey, that's
really
solid.
which is
That's
a goal
very-
or an accomplishment in itself.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
But I don't know. I love it. I would not have changed anything. My team was great. We're gonna
Your time's coming, Wonder Boy. Calm down.
And I will brag, of course, because I'm the mother, but phenomenal students. That's I mean, they're phenomenal students. I mean, that's
3 of the 4.
no. I mean, that's
75. That's not
that's
rude.
been to me. I mean, I'm just as proud of that as because of the balance that they've had to what's that?
The balance they've had to.
Yeah, I mean
What are
the
balance?
balance of
Little mix.
being a student athlete,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
they've
mean,
all had great grades. They've
We were.
been very involved.
It was
That's
also a requirement.
it's very
There
So-
wasn't an option
basically
not to
If
excel
you
in class.
did not
Yeah.
deliver in your academics, you didn't
Yeah.
play your sports.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way it was. And if you ever had the C on your report card at midterm, then you were grounded till the end of the semester until that grade was brought up. So
I don't
Yeah,
think
I mean-
anybody had a C though. I don't think
no,
anybody
no,
ever had
no.
a C.
At
Hold up, we got an example.
C's
I
get
think.
degrees.
at
D's get degrees.
So did
the
C's.
same time, there were people who got grounded for the rest of the semester because they did not have the GPA that they
That
needed.
one.
I did never.
Which one is
In
it?
college.
No, but
In college?
I mean,
No.
that's
Like she
actually,
gets grounded in college.
College.
Well, you got a C in college.
that is what I'm most amazed
My
about
first
with
C
these
ever.
kids now that I see growing up
Ever.
is the amount of
No, I
AP
got
classes they're taking,
Right,
the amount of
it's-
stuff they're doing,
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
still playing sport. Like
Yeah.
I am. I'm not that. I mean, I'm older, but I'm not that much older. But that wasn't AP classes. Like my dad used to push me AP classes. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Extra work? Like, that's,
Yeah,
no one's
no.
doing that. But now, like, you have to be in AP
You
class.
have
you
to
have
be.
to be in a
Just to be able to
You
compete
have
to
to
get
be.
in
You
on the
have
academic
to
level.
be.
and it's
Like,
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
the kids are more amazing now than we were. And that's
Oh, yeah.
why I
And
try
we
to
didn't
hire
have to
them.
stay on.
But
We never had to
they're-
stay on.
they're
We never had to
amazing.
stay on our kids ever. They just did their work. They knew they were disciplined and they did their work. We've never had to stay on them really. I mean,
Or else.
yeah, I mean,
That is why. We knew
definitely always be. I was always involved, and I would always,
Very
double
much
check
so.
the very much, too much so probably. But they did their work.
Yeah,
They
that's
did
it.
their work. They knew what they had to do.
Is that all of your story? That's all we get? Oh, you got more?
I don't have much more.
That's
I'm
all right.
not
Well,
excited to
that's-
start.
Yes, you are.
I think one thing is important to note about you and about Taylor is you both went through very challenging coaching situations, right? So you more in high school, and to the point where she was going to give up.
Mhm.
She was going to quit volleyball.
Volleyball.
And
That
so
was
we're
the-
like, Taylor, you can't
Yeah.
quit because of a coach. You're way too talented. We'll find the right environment.
Yeah.
And that's when you made the switch because she had a very caustic high school coach, but then it was the same group of coaches that coached club.
really.
Right? And then so it just like it never stopped, just constant yelling and that kind of stuff, belittling people. And then you made the change. And I mean, you literally at that point were going to quit. And then you were in, she literally was within days of quitting in college
Her
because
senior
of a
year.
really caustic kind of a
Environment.
bullying sort of coach. And she was going to quit. And we've always been, you've made a commitment, you will play that sport. But it had gotten to the point where it was now going into your senior year, and we just said, you know what? It's if you're not enjoying yourself,
It's not healthy.
it's not healthy. You don't have to play. And her comment was, "I will play," because we didn't want her to quit, but she said, "I will play if the coach gets fired. If not, I'm leaving." The coach got fired over
Right,
Christmas.
Stuck
So
around
before
for
she
it.
came back to school, they had a new coach, and you had the best
Uh-huh.
year of
He
your
was
entire
the
career, your
Best
senior year.
thing that could have happened to our
That's
program.
Something that we try
the
to.
most
That's
amazing person.
something we try to battle all the time. Is like, and we talked about this the other day. Even of like, if there's a kid that's quitting because of a coach, then that coach needs to be addressed. Because your job as a coach is to give this child every opportunity you possibly can to help them succeed within that sport, not
Yeah.
belittle them and
That's
make them want
that's
to
a
quit.
sore.
That
That's a
happens a
sore.
lot.
That's
Yeah.
a really sore subject for me because when I first started training, I was like, "Why don't you be a coach? Why don't you be a coach?" And I was like, "I'm doing exactly what I want to do." And part of the reason I never wanted to be a coach was, and my kids when you're one of my kids, you're one of my kids, and that is you're my kid till till you don't want me around anymore because I'm gonna bug you. I'm not just your coach.
Facts.
I'm in your life.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. I'm just gonna be in your life. I'm party. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna see how you're doing. I'll hear some drama. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna see what's going on. And to me, when coaches were, coaches are great when they need you, but whenever it's their career and they need to move their family and they gotta do all this, like I could never do that. I don't get involved in people's lives if to worry about my own career, or worry about my own.
There's
thing.
a level of
Like,
loyalty.
it's
Exactly.
just, that's how I am. If you're a
I
part
think
of
that's how a coach should be. Period.
That's how
truthfully.
I think that's how a coach should be, and I couldn't do that. Like I couldn't have kids leave or me leave a kid out in a way that needed me. So that's why coaching is important to me, and coaching is it's a you take a coaching. It's like to me it's the same. It's not the same, but it's close to being a parent or being somebody. Like you're a mentor. You're a mentor to that person. That's the coach's position. That's what you sign up to be a coach. If you're going to be a coach, you're involved in these people's lives they get one shot at it, and everybody gets that one shot. At being an athlete, you get that time period, and it's gone. And depending on how you act or how you treat them, you do play a pivotal role in the rest of their life. So you should probably take that pretty serious.
Yeah.
And that's,
You should understand what you're getting yourself into before you decide
it's
to
not
get
just a
into
job.
Yeah.
It's not just a job. It's a calling, I think, to be a coach.
Absolutely.
But I won't get deep into that.
Yeah. Well, then that's why
And you are a coach.
Yeah.
You are a
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah.
That is what you're doing.
And that's why I coached them growing up. One, because I just wanted to be with them. There was just more time. But you feel like it's your job to teach them to love the game
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you want them to want to play.
Yep.
Right? That's your job as an early coach, is to teach them to just love it. I mean, teach them fundamentals, all that kind of stuff, but teach them to
But
love
yeah,
it.
I mean, that's
Because too many people just hate it too early on and they quit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
That's sad.
You never know where they could have been or what they could have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's anyways. Brayden Gruenewald,
Intern wonder.
intern wonder, the Gruenewald champion, the first Gruenewald in Elite Fitness.
I was like,
Like I said,
So, whoa, we're stirring up those competitive juices right
can you
now.
cut that
We're
out?
stirring the pot right now.
and I say
amazing.
I gave a story when we get there on the interview, but no, like the first time Brayden came in, and when you find our gym, it's kind of off the beaten path. Like
Sure.
you have to really
Right.
heard it
Know
through the
where-
grapevine,
right.
or like we work.
Yeah.
And the fact that she showed up randomly, I was like on a Saturday, I was like,
Excuse me?
we must be pretty
How
good.
did
We
you
got
get
Southlake kids coming.
Haley Holgren
She was
invited
lost.
me to come, and I remember the first day was horrible. I almost never wanted
It wasn't
to come
that
back.
bad. I took it easy on
Made me
you.
do kettlebell carries to the stop sign.
I bet it wasn't as bad as my
Oh,
first
that's-
one.
And that was
First of all.
We
horrible.
did hang clings. I made her hang cling from the box. I took
Yes.
care of
See,
her. I took
man,
her
I did a
soft. She's
whole
Southlake girl,
sandbag
so I wanted to make sure she
complex
come
with
back.
sandbag sprints.
Easy.
No. No.
They weren't about getting you to love it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, and she's been back ever since, and like the girl works. Like she hands down works, wants to get better, doesn't think she's as good as she is, so she drives to get better. And even if she's getting better, she still doesn't think it's good enough. So that's Brayden. But it's been great training you. It's been awesome training with you and watching you coach and having you be an intern for us. And me and Brayden are gonna miss you because you
A lot. A
Man,
lot.
because I mean, what did we say the other day? I was like, if you put a Greenwald on it, I don't have to worry about
Oh,
it.
like a shutdown corner. You take care of that half the field.
You
Oh,
put a
man,
Greenwald
thank you.
on it, we're
I can
good.
turn my eyes.
I turn my eye, don't worry about it. But talk about your experience. You're at Southlake and volleyball and where you're at now and what you're doing now and
The whole Brit. Hey man, this ain't yours.
Yeah, I mean, I played in high school. I played indoor mostly. I didn't start beach until I was a sophomore, I think, in high school. Is that right? Yeah, sophomore or junior.
Like end of sophomore year. It was
Yeah, it was
super
it
late.
was late. I don't know. Someone just invited me to go play, and so I went and tried it out and loved it. And high school was a little tough for me. I came to that point where I
A
was
great
also,
story. A great story.
Well, yeah,
It is.
okay.
It's a great. It's a great
I don't
I
even
tell
like
it
you.
all
You
the
could
time.
tell it 'cause I don't.
It's
you
a
tell it.
great
I don't
story.
like to tell.
What's wrong with telling your story?
It's a great story.
Everybody wants to hear about Brayden Gruenewald.
Well, okay. So my junior
Clears
year,
my heart.
junior, there were, I think, 7 other seniors in my position, and the coach pretty much told me like, you're not going to be on this team. You're not going to be on varsity. You're going to be on JV. as a junior, and that was tough to hear because they all were on varsity as juniors, and it was hard to go by that. But so I almost came to the point where I was gonna quit, but then I decided I wanted this so bad, and I wanted to be on that varsity team that I was gonna prove him wrong. And so I worked so hard to get my spot, and I earned a spot on varsity my junior year, and got the chance to play a little bit.
You weren't gonna give them the chance
You
to
sell
give you
yourself
crap for
short.
nothing.
You sell yourself short
She will.
because
She'll do that.
they had already made the team. They had already had their sleepover, everything.
And she wasn't invited.
And she wasn't invited. She was
Yes,
not
I
going to
know,
be
yeah.
on this team.
No, I'm sleeping.
And he came to her and said, I have to put you on this team. You literally deserve this.
You've worked harder.
You work
literally
harder
outworked
than
you.
everybody else.
Proven
I
you've
have
demonstrated
to
over
put
the
you on
summer.
this team. And then she became basically a serving specialist, which was the funny thing was Brayden at what age couldn't even get the serve over the net. She was one of the only kids, she just didn't have the strength. And then she became the
And then she went to elite.
defensive. Yeah, she became the serving specialist at Southlake. And when it all came down in the end in the playoffs, of those 7 girls that were in her position, maybe 2 played, and the others were on the bench. And Brayden was in the game on those important games because she was the serving specialist. So it really did pay off, and she's still in her club or her college coach now will tell you she's one of the strongest servers on the team. That is one of her best.
Well, then, as
Best
senior,
player.
then you turned yourself into probably one of the best liberos in the
One of
state.
the best liberos in the state.
I mean,
They
you
told her.
literally were.
Yeah, they told her she was, and she really did prove it. And you had to fight for that position too, because the coach did not want you. He didn't think that she would be able to be that person, and in the end, he said, once again,
It's almost better he said that to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's who
Right.
he went.
Fuels
That's
my
who he
fire.
went with in the end.
Like, he wanted the younger player to be in the role so he could groom for the next year.
Yeah.
Brayden works.
No.
That's,
She works.
That's one thing I
That
know
is,
about her.
she works hard.
Works.
They all do. They
I don't
really
have to
all
worry. I don't have to worry about her. I mean,
No.
that's her.
do.
She works.
That is her.
She's
Yeah.
a grinder. She
Yeah.
just is. She's that player that you just want on the team.
Put the head down and go
because
to work.
she'll plug a hole. She'll do whatever you want. She's the garbage pail cook.
Yeah.
Just does all
Yeah.
the work. Does the work.
You worked and then you outperformed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And at Cal Poly, you guys really probably pushed each other, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
you guys were always the
Brayden.
top
Taylor.
in conditioning and fitness.
No, for sure.
These two were always finishing
No, we had our plyo We finished test and we first, would.
Yeah.
every time.
1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2.
No, 1 and 1.
One.
We
We
finished
would tie.
together. We would do it together and
Okay.
finish together.
I
and be
love
the first
that.
one.
I love that
Why?
even more.
because you didn't want to beat her and make her feel bad because it's her
Yeah,
senior
exactly.
year.
I would actually, but on the CM sprints, I would kick her butt.
That's
Yeah.
actually, it's a little frustrating that
I
you
believe
wanted to
it.
win.
That's what I'm thinking right now.
As a
To be clear.
impartial third
Technically,
party.
we are winners. but-
Yeah, but they
So-
work.
Now we have Boy
Wonder.
Oh, our
Get your
baby,
glasses
our,
on so we can call
baby,
Ken.
our baby boy.
Our baby
And our
boys.
I know.
And our
Why is that still
centerpiece.
there?
Hold on, hold that
Hold
that
up.
to the camera.
There we go.
Aw,
Look at him.
that
This is how
handsome
famous he
boy.
is. He's our
Aw.
Now, Boy Wonder, the most thing about him is his squats are decent now. Last
Now.
year, that I
Semi
They
decent.
have
well,
improved.
Not necessarily
I
weight.
got tired of looking at them at 6 a.m. and like, dude, we gotta work on that.
And your robotics.
And it's robotics have improved.
Boy Wonder, tell us a little bit. Tell us, growing up with 3 strong older sisters, how was that? I mean,
How was the time of your life where they were all stronger than you? That's what I want to hear about.
no.
I mean,
yeah,
Brayden-
no.
Brayden's
Brayden's
barely
hard.
just-
Brayden's
So
just
hard.
as strong as you.
No, we actually
We won't
added
talk
like.
about. We won't talk about that.
Come
I'll get
on.
into the question. Growing up, it was kind of like having 4 moms.
I believe that.
Nice.
Stronger than that.
Sometimes they pamper me a little bit too much to the girl side, but
That's why I was there.
I get bullied a lot in this family.
Oh, please.
I'm sure you feel like that sometimes.
Please.
But I definitely had some high expectations set with
Yeah.
these 3, and especially
Taylor.
once I got.
I mean, I thought that's what he was going to
Sorry.
say. He looked
I thought
right at
that's
her.
right. Yeah.
We were all thinking it.
Everyone was.
Finish the sentence.
It's fine, Mitchell. We all got it.
Especially with
Where are we
what?
going?
Well, I was gonna say most importantly when I got to high school and just seeing that they all went D1 and with my sport the recruiting isn't until really late and I hadn't developed until really late and
Still developing.
very very true. I hope so. But I wanted almost to not let them down and not let the family down and I was possibly going to be the only non-D1 kid besides her. So I tried to
He specified kid.
I tried to back myself up by trying to be the academic one and saying, oh, I didn't play sports because I focused on school or something like that. And then
But instead, I'm great at everything.
There you have it. But instead, I'm great at everything.
I mean, obviously, I'm just the best.
I didn't mean to be. I just kind of happened this way.
Here I am. I'm the greatest.
Don't worry. You don't want to say that about yourself.
That's why you
I'll
go
do it for
boy
you.
wonder.
Oh, God.
I may float out of my seat right now.
You should be
Well,
speechless.
well, they always talk about how important strength is in sports. Lacrosse especially, plus if you're going to play defense. And I never really thought it was very important, and I thought I can just make it up with skill or athleticism. But after going to y'all and just seeing the improvements and the on-field benefits that it had, it was insane, like, just the impact I made on the game after going there for half a year and just the immediate results that came from it. And from there stemmed my recruiting, and especially the end of my junior year, going into that summer is when I started to be recruited by some bigger schools, and I never had military on my radar.
Yeah.
But that opportunity came up, and I just thought I can't pass this up.
Yeah.
This
There you go.
is perfect for
Yeah.
me. Exactly what I'm looking for. Just that discipline that I've grown up with.
I'm already used to this.
You'll be fine.
I'm already used to this, so I'm good.
You're gonna think they're really nice
Total
compared to.
I definitely still have a lot to live up to. These all successful D1 student athletes.
But one day they'll be saluting you, bro.
That is
Mm.
Well,
hopefully.
They'll be saluting you.
Still haven't gotten in. And I say I'm committed. It's going to be really embarrassing if I don't.
Nah, you're good.
you got it.
But yeah, they were all like successful athletes and they excelled on and off the field as well. And that's a lot to live up to. And they're just such good role models to me and some people to look up to. And
Hey, it's okay.
just like they become my best friends and people I can go to, and
You can see that
Yeah.
just
You guys
within
see
this
how
y'all's
close
family
Yeah.
dynamic. Like even just through the social media, you can see the type of environment, the type of relationship you guys have. It's actually it's really cool to see.
That's why it's the Gruenewalds.
That's why it's Gruenewald
we're
Clan.
very, very blessed.
Well,
very blessed.
Thank you guys for letting us have dinner.
It's
with
delicious.
You guys.
Chef Taylor.
I'm gonna pause this real quick because I gotta use the restroom.
Yeah,
That's
go.
a good point.
Okay.
Pause.
You
Dave.
need
Okay, last but not least, Rhonda,
Oh.
Mama Rhonda.
Mama
Yeah.
Gruenewald.
How is it? I mean, how's it been raising all these kids? I mean, you're the one at home with them, nurturing, which I mean, it's a testament to both of you guys. I mean,
Thank
like
you.
hands down to have amazing kids. All do it. That's a thing. Like that's a real thing.
That's why we came to the source.
yeah,
we can't
so-
talk on that.
Applause to you guys. But kind of was your, you don't want cart them everywhere, take them everywhere, make sure they're fed and all that stuff. I mean, what has it been for you to watch your kids grow up and take care of them? And, you hope your kids go the way that you teach them, but you guys are so close and still, you're all here under that one roof. Still, nobody wants
to leave the nest.
Nobody wants to leave the nest. I mean, that's a testament to you guys too, as well. That you guys want to be together. And I can tell just when they come to the gym how much they enjoy
Being together.
being around each
Yeah.
other and being together.
Yeah,
And that's
I would say, that's probably the best part about being a parent is seen your kids be friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we have always been close. And yes, they're all, you know, they're a year and 3 weeks apart. 17 months later, she came. Mitch came a couple years later.
Whoops.
Sorry.
So obviously they're very close in age, but we moved a lot with
Yeah, I
Trevor's
think that was
job.
big.
Yeah, I think so. Our family was always very close because of that. I didn't need play dates.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to find kids for my kids to play with because they
so
had.
I can get away.
Yeah,
Right,
they
yeah,
had
yeah.
each other. They just always have been very, very close. They say I love you to each other.
Mhm.
I love that. They mean it. They enjoy being together. I think they enjoy being with us.
Most of the time, right?
Most
As
of
long
the
as
time.
we're paying.
As long as we're paying, they love being with us. Ding, ding, ding. We have, as you can see, there's a ton of laughter.
Mm-hmm.
A ton of laughter. That's what I miss the most when they're gone. That's, you know, when it was just Mitch at home and all three girls were in college at the same time. He got all our attention, you
So
know.
that's what's wrong with you.
Yeah. He got all our attention, and then when they would all come home, there's so much laughter. It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's a lot of love. I think it seems like that's
It's
what
a
I feel.
ton of love.
Yeah,
we've
and the great
been
thing
very
is
blessed.
they really hold each other accountable. That's what I love
They
too.
do.
No matter
They
what it
do.
is for their
Yeah.
goals.
She definitely does that with him in the gym.
Yeah, they hold each
Yeah.
other accountable for their faith. You know, making sure they all go to church while they're in school. You know, that kind of stuff when they're away from home. You know, for their goals, for their sports, for whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we're obviously incredibly proud
Well,
of each
as you
and
should
every
be.
one of
you
them.
definitely should.
Yeah,
For sure.
we've been just very, very blessed.
Well, thank you for having us for dinner.
Yeah, it was
Thank
amazing.
you for letting us have her for the summer and
Thank you for
have
having
her
her.
work with us, and
you.
that was.
Thank you for instilling that work ethic.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll tell you
That
what.
was the easiest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, you guys are an amazing family. It was great to come. We respect you and admire you guys. Definitely, each and every one of you guys. It's
Thank you.
at the gym. It's a thing. The Gruenewalds are a
Greenwalds
thing.
are a thing.
And people understand what we're talking about. And for me, I knew there were some serious parenting plans for them all to be this way. Like that's not by accident. You can hope and wish that your kids are that way, but without a plan and putting it in place,
Put in the work.
and putting in the work, as we say.
Yeah.
You guys did a great job, and you know, people say it's. I'm gonna go extra with this one, but there's I've
What's
always
new?
no I've always you know I grew up here, so you know when we grew up we used to fight the Southlake kids, like that was our rivalry.
Sure.
We didn't have
Yeah.
cell phones, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have all that stuff. So the best way to do it was we're gonna find you guys, we're gonna hang out, and if we're hanging out, we might end up in a fight. You know, like
Yeah.
that's old
Yeah.
school. That's what it is. Just all you guys.
Casual.
No,
Regular Friday.
Casual.
Casual.
Yeah. You crossed over to
You
our
know.
turf, and now we're gonna fight.
Yeah,
you.
turf
Like,
wars.
West Side Story.
Yeah.
But
He
you
likes
know,
to think his life is a play.
it could be a movie, and it will be a documentary. You'll see it. I'm
You'll be
working
in
on
it.
Hey, Tess, documentary coming. No, but you know, there is something different about, you know, Southlake always wins. Like that's a thing. Like everybody knows
It's part of the
Southlake.
culture.
Southlake wins. It's part of the culture. But I've always wondered why? Like why? Because the kids are the same. I think the kids are the same. The community is the same. What's the difference between, you know, moving into?
You good, bro?
I thought she was taking my shoelaces apart. But moving here from Oklahoma and just, you know, not knowing, you know, what is the difference, and it's exactly here's the drive. It's the drive that Trevor has that I see from you. Like it's just this is what is expected. Nothing else is accepted. This is how we're gonna do it. I mean, it's just I think that is what Southlake is. I think for me,
That's what makes
what I
Southlake
see.
Southlake.
I don't think you're the only parent that's like that
No,
out here. I
sure.
think that's just the
Because they see
culture
other
of.
kids that act the same
I
way.
see the
too.
kids that come through. Like it's just the drive. It's the. This is what is accepted. This is the only way it is, and that's why you guys win. And it's kind of inbred in the community, the culture, which is different than Colleyville. I'm sorry. It's just,
It is.
It is.
No, it is.
It's just what it is, and it's just I see enough kids. I see it enough. I train enough. And whenever I train, my job is to find out how to push each kid. What's their buttons, and I have to know them. And they may not know I'm learning them because I push buttons and try to figure out what they react to, but it is different here. And like you always like, it's just if it's repetitive, like they win every year, that's a thing. What's the culture behind the thing? What makes them be great like that?
That nothing like that happens on accident in a
Nothing.
sense. Nothing does.
And
There
it's
has to be some sort of
and
algorithm.
it's that drive of that athletic drive or whatever that force is. It's just this is what's expected. This is how we're gonna do it. There's no other answers. You're gonna figure it out, or you'll be grounded, or you better have that chip on your shoulder. And it's different. It's just different here. And like I said, that's why I want to raise my kids in Southlake. So to the Gruenewalds, thank you for making
To
me
the
decide that.
Gruenewalds.
Oh,
I still got some more work to do, so
Yeah.
I'll put that chip on my shoulder and I'll may call Trevor and once in a while and be like, yell at me, please. Tell me what I'm
Come,
doing wrong.
come coach me for an hour. Come get me for an hour.
Well, I actually
We
I
call it encouragement.
yeah, we do. I actually don't even like to go to dinner alone with Trevor because he puts me on a PIP, which is called a performance improvement plan. Every time we go to dinner alone, so I always ask friends
There's always
to come
an
along.
opportunity to be better.
There's
Everything that
always.
we do.
So we
Everything
have
we do.
goals as a married couple,
We have
as
our mission
parents.
statement as a married couple.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do. So
Let's hear it.
it never, ever
I love it.
stops.
I
It's
love
on
it.
my phone. I can
Oh my
read it
God.
every
No,
day.
no.
If we want
Let's
to play this game, we can play this game.
No.
But
It's an intense. It's an intense. But we
Next
also we've never demanded of them to play a D1 sport. We've never demanded of them to do anything except we've very much encouraged them to do what they want to do. If Mitch didn't want to play sports in college, we were fine with that. You know that was up to him. He needed to decide that.
But what's demanded is that whatever you decide to
You're-
do it at your
you're going
best.
to do your
Yeah,
best.
well, that's why
and
we set goals.
absolutely. We
Right,
Exactly.
so
yeah.
that was the conversation all the time. What is your goal?
Yep.
Well, I don't want to go to the gym today. I don't do this. Hold on. Let's go back and look at your goal. Is this consistent with what your goal is? And if it's not, then you need to change your attitude about it. You need to start changing.
You need to get
I
your
mean,
butt
it
to the
is.
gym.
I feel
You need to wake up at 5 a.m.
Oh yes, they used to have to say "I feel terrific" 3 times when they would wake up
In
in
the
morning
mirror every
on
day.
the mirror.
I feel terrific. I feel terrific.
good. You don't have to share this part.
No, you should.
This is when they were little. This is
Hey,
when they were little.
this is the thing, like those little things that you guys think are funny
Silly.
Or
Yeah.
embarrassing
That's
or
why
whatever.
you're at where
but
you're at
Yeah.
today, because that's not instilled in everybody. That's not. You guys have no he didn't provide a way for you guys to make an excuse for anything, and excuses will get you down a pattern that you don't want to be. You guys hold each other firm to those. You guys have instilled in that. That's the Gruenewald way, and it's been successful, right? The pattern has been successful.
Yeah.
It can be duplicated. He may need to write a book. But it's
Don't
a
give him
thing.
ideas.
There we go.
Bestseller.
Good idea.
5 million page
I'm being
book.
serious. Write a book.
The route to
They
be
just
with
bring
kids.
it up, actually.
True story.
Chapter.
So, again, thank you guys. This is the
Read
Thunder and
people
Lightning
like
show.
sure.
We'll close with that. Thunder and Lightning. This is why Southlake always wins. Trevor Gruenewald and the Gruenewald Clan. Love, peace,
Cheers.
and happiness. Cheers. to that.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.